Kahalayim La, Alhainaw Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, Wamalaki by Hashem Harwat, Wakapurash, Barakathum, the water Bible Ball, Wakwam Yasharala. Double honor to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who teach us daily, and to the men out there teaching the likewise doctrine and say Shalom. Today we're going to get into a video whereas Trump admits he chooses to be an evil person. Let's start with that. He ain't choosing nothing. This is the Lord's will for the wicked. The Lord created the wicked to be wicked. This is not of his own doing. Nobody is in control of their destiny. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai controls everything, even your goings in life. So let's get into this video where he's gonna admit it. But before we do that, let's get a copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Let's grab the video. All right, here you go. It says, Trump admits that he chooses to be a horrible person. You didn't choose nothing, homie. Let it ride.
It's no secret that Donald Trump's mental and physical health is essentially in the toilet. The guy is getting more feeble by the day, his brain is deteriorating by the day, and these are all visible, things that we can see, things that we notice. The bruises, the cankles, the inability to stand like a normal human being, the lack of balance, the tripping up the stairs, which he mocks Biden for to this day. He does it himself. But all of this paints the picture of a very feeble 79-year-old man who may not be long for the world. And it appears that even Donald Trump himself knows it. Trump has repeatedly mused about the afterlife recently, which of course is somebody who, whether conscious or not, knows they're kind of at the end. They will start to spend more and more time thinking about the afterlife. And Trump has made several comments over the last few months, as recently as last week, about getting into heaven. But during these talks about getting into heaven, Donald Trump also admitted that he is a horrible person and that he makes a choice to be a horrible person. Let me read you his most recent comments on the matter. He did this last week when he was talking about an America Praise initiative for the 250th birthday of the country next year. And he said, quote, there's no reason to be good. Like, that's the whole point. That's the big takeaway. That is the one sentence I want you to remember, but I'll finish. I want to be good because you want to prove to God you're good so you can go to that next step, right? That's very important to me. I think it's really very important. I felt for a long time that if a country doesn't have religion, doesn't have faith, doesn't have God, it's going to be very hard to be a good country. There's no reason to be good. And before you think, well, maybe this was a slip of the tongue, he said this last year, or this summer, on Fox News. He said, I'm hearing I'm not doing well. I hear I'm really at the bottom of the totem pole. And then he told Todd Starnes, conservative talk radio host, quote, people get punished if they're not good, right? If you don't think about that, if you're not a believer and you believe you go nowhere, what's the reason to be good, really? There has to be some kind of a report card up there someplace, like let's go to heaven, let's get into heaven, and it's sort of a beautiful thing. So he has admitted multiple times that as a human being, there's no reason to be good. Like, why not be as evil as humanly possible? Oh, yeah, God will strike you down. Okay. So my fear of God and my desire to get into heaven and get that eternal reward is the only reason I'm good. Because if it weren't for that, what? You'd be out stealing, taking food away from the hungry, not helping the sick, turning away the migrants, locking up people, right? You'd be doing those things that, oh, wait, you already do. Trump is not a good person. And this is an admission that, yeah, he chooses to be bad because every now and then he's not thinking about the afterlife. But then he thinks about it and he's like, okay, well, now I got to be good for a couple days. That'll get on my report card, as he calls it. If you're a good person and you do good things, but you only behave that way because you are afraid of God's vengeance, then I have news for you. One, you're not a good person. Two, they actually call that out in the Bible, okay? And you're going to hell. So all your work to pretend to be a good person is still going to land you in the pit of suffering. That's actually how that works. And if you believe in nothing, why be good? Like, to me, that statement, I can't even wrap my head around it, because that's not something a normal person would consider. It's something a psychopath or a sociopath would, right? It's something that somebody without a moral compass would think, like, oh, well, there is no afterlife. I'll just go kill people. Like, no, that's not a normal thought. I'll just steal from everybody. Not a normal thought. You be a good person because it's what you do. Not because you feel compelled to do it, but because it's just how things are. It's just how you are. Like, it's just such a natural thing that honestly, I can't even explain it, I don't get how anybody can look at this convicted felon, a guy with all kinds of accusations from women against him too, a guy who's broken maybe every single commandment, and think that he is the epitome of a guy that's going to go to heaven, or that he's even just a good person in general. Being good is not something you do out of fear. Not killing people is not what you do because you're afraid of God's wrath or jail. It's because you know it's wrong. And if you don't know that it's wrong, if the only thing stopping you from doing bad things is fear of punishment, then you're not a good person. I can't believe I even have to explain that, but I hope MAGA listens to that message. If you're suppressing urges to go commit crimes, you're not a good person for suppressing them. You're a disturbed person for having those urges in the first place. Thanks for watching, everyone. We're inching closer and closer to 1 million subscribers.
All right, we'll come out of it. Y'all heard? So Trump's basically fooling y'all. He wasn't fooling us because we called him out for the wicked person that he is from the jump. He fooled y'all. Now let's get a scripture. And he didn't choose to be wicked. He was created to be wicked. You don't have any control of your doings. This is Proverbs chapter 20, verse 24. Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? See? Now, as far as him going to heaven, being an Edomite, he going. Trump is going to heaven, believe it or not. All the elites are going to heaven. Everybody's going to heaven. Let me explain what heaven is. There are 3 heavens. Number 1, the first one is the spiritual world, of course, where everybody goes after they die to rest. Everybody goes there. There's no such thing as hell. Heaven and hell are conditions, not places you go after you die. All humans rather go to the spiritual world. Animals, their spirits go down into the ground. Now, there's the second heaven, which is the physical, like outer space, not outer space, but up there by the Van Allen belt, that immediate orbit. And then there's the third heaven, which is on earth. Esau is in his heaven right now. we're in our hill right now because the Edomites rule over the Israelites. That's why this is our hill. But the Lord is about to switch this. See, heaven is coming to earth because when our heaven comes, the Israelites are going to be in rulership under King Yahushua and King David. And you're going to have 144,000 immortal judges that's going to be putting in work on you wicked heathens and you wicked nations. Now, once the Lord turns this thing around and the earth becomes our heaven, it will also become Esau's hell because he's going to be in captivity along with the other 16 nations. That's why King David's prayer, the Lord's prayer, let it be done on earth as it is in heaven. The whole earth is going to be under the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. And the 144 judges are going to be the enforcers of it. So yeah, Trump's going to heaven. He ain't gonna like his position when he get there. Matter of fact, none of the elites ain't gonna like their positions because they're gonna wish they were dead when they got there. So yeah, everybody going to heaven. Let's get some scripts. No, they ain't gonna like their position because they're gonna be the first fruits of slaves. The elites are gonna be the first slaves. Go to Proverbs. Chapter 28. Verse 9. See, Esau so messed up. He's so profane. Profane means outside the temple. That means the Lord ain't dealing with you. Esau is so abominable and profane, even his prayers are abominations to the Lord. Because the Lord knows that this man is not sincere. That's why even his prayers, we even try to pray, the Lord know he's faking. Because the Lord knows that he created him to be wicked. Psalm chapter 28, verse 90. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be abomination. And that goes for all you 2/3 too. Y'all don't want to hear the law. You want to hear smooth, buttery words. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 6. This is describing the wicked, but it's also, to me personally, I think that this is describing Trump because it's too detailed to describe his very personality. Now, true, this applies to Edom as a whole, but I think they took extra care to describe Trump or Nero. We believe that that Trump is a Nero in the reincarnation. Okay. Proverbs chapter 6, we'll start at verse 12. Now listen to this description and you tell me if this is not Trump or not. A naughty person, a wicked man walking with a froward mouth. Froward means you're difficult to get along with. He winketh with his eyes. He speaketh with his feet. He teaches with his fingers. Frowardness is in his heart. He devises mischief continually. He soweth discord. Therefore shall his calamity come suddenly. Suddenly shall he be broken without remedy. Now listen to this. These 6 things that the Lord hate, yes, 7 are an abomination unto him. 7 means completion, so he's completely wicked. Verse 17, a proud look, that's Trump. A lying tongue, that is definitely Trump. And hands that shed innocent blood, that's Trump. Y'all remember during his first administration, he bombed Syria 3 times. A heart that devises wicked imaginations, feet that be swift and running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. Is that not him? Always dividing people, not bringing nobody together, because Edomites are not a what's the word? They don't have any sense of community. They're always against each other. That's one of the reasons why they hate Israelites, because we have a strong sense of community. We love our families. We love our people. Now let's go to, yeah, that's the word, solidarity. Edomites don't have any solidarity. It's always cutthroat with them. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 24. Here you go again. Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man understand his own way? So he didn't choose nothing. He was created to do just what he's doing. Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 23. O Lord, I know that a man, Salakia, O Lord, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps. See, you ain't in control. The Lord is. Now let's go to the book of Mark, chapter 7. And this is we start at verse 20. This is Lord Yahushua speaking the red letter. And he said, that which cometh out of the man that defiled the man. For from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, fornication, murders, thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within and defile the man. Is that not your boy? Let's go to the book of Daniel, chapter 12. Verse 10. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. See? When it says the wicked shall do wickedly and none of the wicked shall understand, that means the wicked don't really know why they're doing wickedness. They think they're in control. No, the Lord is pulling y'all strings. And it says the wicked shall not understand because they think they're always in control of something. But the Israelites, the wise shall understand. We know why you're out here doing this wickedness, because you were created to do these things. So the Lord can be justified to punish the nation of Edom. Now, I know not all Edomites are wicked, but guess what? The Lord judges nations, just like all the Israelites were not wicked, but we still got judged as a nation. Same thing coming for the nation of Edom and the other 16 nations, because they knew who we were the whole time and said nothing but benefited and took advantage of us. So they're in trouble too. So Proverbs chapter 29. Verse 2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. You got a No Kings protest coming up this weekend that the government already lied, and they gonna rename it Hate America protest so they can demonize the protesters as being terrorists. They already start calling protesters terrorists. So you see the play coming up. They need insurrection. So Trump can be justified to assume all and total power. Your constitutional rights are out the window, not that they ever counted anyway. Look how they trampling over people's amendments now in civil rights. Verse 12, if a ruler hearkens to lies, all his servants are wicked. Verse 11, a fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it in till afterwards. Trump get on True Social, whatever come up, come out. He telling military secrets and everything on social media like a little middle school girl. That is very dangerous. That is a security threat to the nation. Not that he cares, because he's destroying it anyway. Go to Philippians chapter 2. And Fair and Balanced, he mentioned that Trump only does good things so he can get kudo points with the Lord, but he really wants to be wicked. I got a scripture that addresses that. Philippians chapter 2, verse 3. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. So don't be doing stuff if you're not sincere, because the Lord gonna see you faking. Psalm chapter 58, verse 3, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. This man has told hundreds of thousands of lies during his political career, both seasons 1 and this one. But he still got a job because the wicked bear rule. The earth was given to the hand of the wicked to cover the faces of the judges thereof. Not where and who is he? Job chapter 9, verse 24. The Lord literally gave the earth to the wicked to rule over us because we went off and we did not follow the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments. So he using Esau to punish us. Our punishment is over. So it's not over yet, but it's coming to an abrupt end real soon. So Esau's heaven is going to be turned to his hell, and our hell is going to be turned into our heaven, because we're going to be in rulership over all these heathen nations. There ain't nothing they can do about it. Go to Titus. Trump tried to sell Bibles. No, he wasn't sincere, knowing he was wicked. See? Making merchandise of the Lord's business. Titus chapter 1, verse 15. Unto the pure all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure. See, everything for sale with this man, with Edomites, nothing is sacred. That's why they selling plots of land to enemies inside the continental United States. Matter of fact, they building a Qatari Air Force base for their fighter planes in Idaho. But I thought these were your enemies. See, that's dangerous because Trump has been sold this country out. He don't give a damn about not one citizen. I don't even think he cares about his own family. Because guess what? They're going to get nuked too. Let's start over. Verse 15, Titus chapter 1. Unto the pure all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure. But even their mind and conscience is defiled. They profess they know Yahweh, but in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate. That's how the Lord know you fronting. Lip service. You talk a good one, but you don't do nothing this book says to do. So how do you think that you're righteous or you're separate from the other wicked people in the world? Still celebrating holidays, still eating pork, see, still worshiping false idols, but you know you're going to get saved. Okay, we're going to see. Go to the book of James, chapter 1, verse 26. If any man among you seem to be religious and bridle not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is vain. Why you front? You know you hate the Lord. You know you love wickedness. Stop it. Let's go to 2 Thessalonians. Chapter 2. Start at verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Yeah, America, meet Esau. He's not the white man. He's an Edomite. This is what Edomites do. Wickedness, son of perdition. Yeah. The man of sin be revealed. Esau, not a white man. The son of perdition. Perdition means chaos, anarchy. That's what this man, he craves it. He wants it so bad he can almost taste it. And that's sad. Cause this man he gonna be the one to put the nail in America's coffin. Let's go to Job chapter 21. And we start at verse 13. And this is the Edomite spirit right here. They hard-headed, they don't follow instructions. Look at your president breaking every law that was ever made. But he still got a job and all his flunkies. Verse 13, they spend their days in wealth and in a moment go down to the grave. Therefore they say unto Yahweh, depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of thy ways. See? What is the Almighty that we should serve him? And what profit should we have if we pray unto him? Lo, their good is not in their hand, the counsel of the wicked is far from me. See, they were just born hard-headed and wicked, lawless. Look at your superiors running this world, lawless, committing genocide, starting wars, murder, trampling over people's civil rights, constitutional amendments. It's just like Isaiah chapter 59. Let's get it. Verse 6. Their web shall not become garments, neither shall they cover themselves with their works. Their works are works of iniquity. The act of violence is in their hands. These are the things that they were created to do. Their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity. Wasting and destruction are in their paths. Verse 8, the way of peace they know not, and there is no judgment in their goings. They have made them crooked paths. Whosoever goeth therein shall not know peace. That's why anybody who does business with the United States ends up regretting it. Look how they just did South Korea with their Hyundai plant in Georgia. Almost 300 South Korean workers came over here to train American workers. And you had a Karen, a Edomite Karen, called ICE on. So they put everybody in detention centers about a week. And when they got out, they were like, no, the hell with that plant. We're going home. Train your own people, which is impossible almost because everything's written in Korean. Yeah, the way of peace, they know not. That's why this country has been at war well over 200 years. And this country's only been in existence for 249 years. There's another one. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 50, verse 16. This is the Lord talking to the wicked. But unto the wicked Yahweh saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee? Why you fronting? You know you wicked. It's like the tiny tops over there. Why you fronting? You know you wicked. And the whole world knows it too now. There's another one. Job chapter 30, verse 8. They were children of fools, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. So even if your prayer is an abomination, how you think you gain favor with the Lord if he ain't even listening to you? Because your judgment is already written, Esau. There's no prayer you can pray to get you out of this. Get another one. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For yet know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. For he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. See, this man been in his feelings over 2,000 years because the Lord rejected him and gave the blessing to Jacob instead of Esau. So Esau, the whole nation of Esau, they basically trying to sneak and steal their birthright back by trying to start wars to cause order out of chaos and put a grain of rice in everybody's hand for control, thus keeping him in rulership, stealing the birthright. But the Lord is not going to allow that. Get another one. Book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit, or a detention center, or a jail, or a prison, or alligator Alcatraz. Now you get it? He get up there with that podium talk with them smooth, buttery words, but he trying to figure out how to imprison you. How to make you guilty of something so you can become under the scrutiny of their laws, which they make, break, ignore, and bend at will. Yeah, an enemy speaking sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagined how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he found opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. Listen. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee every time. Ask MAGA. Their hearts are still breaking because they believe the lies. That's why it says in Sirach chapter 12, verse 10, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Is this man not waxing worse and worse? Yes. Get this one. Ecclesiastes chapter 14, verse 7. And if he doeth good, he doeth unwillingly. And at the last he will declare his wickedness. Why be good? You know, see, you heard in the video that we played at the beginning of this video. Yeah, he declared his wickedness. Esau is tired of hiding. He's tired of pretending that he's a good person. He wants to be naturally wicked because that's what's in his spirit, to be wicked. He's tired of pretending that he's a good person. And that wickedness is starting to surface. Now let's go to Sirach chapter 10. Verse 9. Yeah. Why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than the covetous man. See, Everything ain't enough for Esau. That's why he's unfit to rule. He doesn't know how to properly weigh things in the balance. He's a covetous man, which is an abomination to the Lord. There is not a more wicked thing than the covetous man, for such as one setteth his own soul to sell, because while he liveth, he cast away his bowels. See, there's another scripture proving that there's nothing sacred with this man. Can't you tell? Because he doesn't respect anything. He'll bow down and kiss your ass if you got more money than him. But other than that, he can care less about your life, your family. He don't care because he wasn't given empathy, which makes him unfit to rule. Let's go to Isaiah. Chapter 14, verse 1. This is the heaven to come. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave into the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. You see how the roles are going to switch? The earth is going to become our heaven and their hell because they're going into captivity very soon. Check this out. Verse 4. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how has the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. That's a miracle. The Lord have broken the staff of the wicked, the scepter of the rulers. That's symbolic. If you ever watch old tribal movies, you know, the leader of that particular tribe or whatever, they'll have a long stick called a scepter. That's a symbol of leadership. The Lord is going to break Esau's scepter, meaning his rulership is symbolically at an end. So it wasn't literal, but it's spiritual. The Lord is going to break his scepter, meaning he's no longer in rulership and he's going into captivity. Now let's go to Psalms chapter 14. Verse 1. This is how Esau really thinks. To the chief musician of Psalm of David, the fool has said in his heart, there is no Yahweh. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works, and there is none that do good. So Esau think he just have a whole lifetime of wickedness and just die and not have to pay for nothing. No, you think the Lord gonna make it that easy for you? You about to go into hardcore captivity for 1,000 years. You and these other 16 nations. The only difference is at the end of your captivity, Esau, you're going to be rounded up and exterminated. They're going back to their own land and still being under the rulership of the Israelites. You, Esau, you're going to be cut out like the cancer you are. Get a few more. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 7. Concerning Edom, thus said the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in teeming? Is their counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? The answer is no, because they never had wisdom. Because it says in the scriptures that the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. Verse 10, but I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbor, and he is not. Because he the one doing the spoiling. Spoil means to rob. Verse 16, 15. For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. That has come to pass. Verse 16. Thy terribleness have deceived thee, and thy pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill, though thou shouldest make my nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord. Also Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. Meaning, they're going to be looking like, because the Lord is about to turn America into the world's largest ashtray. And everybody going to be looking from abroad and be like, ooh, they getting it. They're going to get 200 million nukes, and that is no exaggeration. Because nuclear missiles can carry way more than one warhead. They can carry multiple warheads. So this country's done. So Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the hearts of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. There you go. That's why Esau's so confident in his wickedness. Oh, let me get one more. Job chapter 5, verse 13. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness. That's the Lord outsmarting Esau. And the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. The counsel of the froward. Froward means you're difficult to get along with. Carried headlong, meaning that you're proceeding with your plans with reckless confidence. That's Esau. Because he hadn't been punished. He really thinks that he's going to get away with all his wickedness. And he really thinks that this crazy ass plan of constant chaos, anarchy, and destruction is sustainable. That's an idiot in itself who thinking something like this can be sustainable. Nah. We can close on this one. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 10. Verse 16. Woe to thee, O land. Woe mean destruction. When thy king is a child and the princes eat in the morning. So that's destruction. Now, before we go, there's 3 more scriptures I've got to get up. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 14, verse 9. And this is the Lord telling the elites what's about to happen to them. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones on the earth. That's it. That's your world leaders. It have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become as weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Remember, there was once upon a time when the only country that had nukes was America. Everybody got nukes now. Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Verse 11, thy pomp is brought down to the grave. The noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. Worm represents death, decay. Verse 12, listen to this. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? There it is. This is not talking about the Lord and the devil up in heaven fighting to the point that the Lord had to just kick him out because he couldn't do nothing with him. No, if that was the case, the Lord wouldn't be the Almighty. Read the book of Job. Satan works for the Lord. If the Lord wants to jack you up, He gonna send Satan to send one of his left-handed angels to put a spirit on somebody to jack you up. That's how it works. So Lucifer falling from heaven, this as lightning, this is how fast Esau is going to fall from his heaven to his hell. It's only going to take 1 hour to destroy America. That's biblical. How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? That's Esau. Now let's get Isaiah chapter 24. Verse, well, I think it's 20. Let me see. Start at 19. And this describing the nukes. When all the nukes go off at the same time, World War III, the earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean, dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. Verse 21. This is what the Lord is about. He's talking about the elites now. And it shall come to pass in that day, future prophecy, that the Lord shall punish the hosts of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered into the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days shall they be visited. How you gonna do that, Lord? Jeremiah chapter 16. We can close on this one, verse 16. Behold, I will send for many fishers, said the Lord, and they shall fish them. That's talking about the prophets on the highways and byways trying to wake our people up, doing videos, trying to wake our people up, fishing for become fishermen of men like Peter, who was King David, whole nother lesson. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. Holes of the rocks. Bunkers. Y'all ain't safe. You ain't getting away scot-free for thousands of years of wickedness. You're about to pay, and you're about to cough up everything that you have ever stolen plus some. So yes, to answer Trump's question, he is going to heaven. But when he get there, just like the elites, they're going to wish they were dead. Kahalayim la lahayna Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach wa Malakia by Hashem Harawat Bakakurash Barakathum, the water Baba Bawa Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.